Okay, so today we are working with a log and logarithmic and exponential equation. We are doing logarithmic and exponential equations. So the first question that you will have in this assignment is log or similar to that. Remember, you have the same scenarios, different numbers on. No, x is equal to 3. So the first thing that we need to do in this one is we need to go, this equation is in logarithmic form. We need to change it to exponential. And we know to do exponential, we take the base, that will be 8. Oh, let me put the base. We rise to the number that is in the other side of the equal sign, and we equal to the exponent. Now this equation is no longer in logarithmic form. This equation now is in exponential form. And then we need to figure out what is 3a to the third power. If we expand a to the third power, is 8 times 8 times 8. And you need to use your calculators to do that.
512.
512. So we know that the value of x for this problem is 512. So you have to do is always you need to go from logarithmic to exponential and solve for the variable. Sometimes x can be the exponent, sometimes x can be the answer, or sometimes x can be the base.
But if x is the base, you still solve it the same way, right? There's no
Well,
other.
you go backwards.
But the
Imagine-
same steps. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine that you have x is equal to x to the third power is equal to 81. What is the only number that you can rise to the third power will be 81? What will be the number?
81.
And what will be the number that you can rise?
Oh, 3.
3.
Or would that be x?
What will be 81? What is this, the cubic root of 81?
A 9? No, it's not.
Is it,
Oh, yeah.
let me give you another number.
I know that's square, 81.
I'll give you another number. Easy. What number you rise to the fifth power is 32?
8. Wait.
Remember, when you have a 5, means you multiply this number 5 times. What number can be? So you have to have the fifth power, fifth root of 32. You know how to do in your calculator?
I don't think so. Because it always gives me a decimal. I tried doing it with 81, but.
Yeah, mine decimal.
They give you a decimal. Because 2 to the second power is what?
4.
You have 2 of them. To the second power,
That's just 4.
4. Okay, 2 to the third power,
6.
no. 2 times 2
Oh.
times
8.
there's 2 to the fourth power.
That's 12. No.
You multiply 4 times 2.
Oh, 16.
And then 2 to the fifth power.
30.
And that is the answer. The answer x will
So
be equal to
2.
2.
Okay, so it's okay. So I don't know, that just kind of threw me off. So if it's just x to the 5th power, it's just you're finding
What
what
number?
is 32 5 times. Like what number times itself 5 times is 32.
Exactly.
And then that's just your answer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Always you answer for x. Normally the x is in the end.
But if it's like that, it's just x.
Or they can give you also something like that. They can give you an 8. You don't know the exponent, but the answer is 1/64. So what is the only number you can write 8 could be 1/64?
Well, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
What will be the only number that you can rise? What will be the to what power you need to rise 8 to be equal to 1/64? So you need to remember why we put a number under 1.
Because that number's why do you put the number under 1?
Yeah.
Because there's always 1 under that number. That's always the
Well, that is the point, would be this point. Why is 64 under 1? What this answer is giving you as a clue, as a hint.
I'm not sure.
Well, you guys, we have done this over and over and over. And I don't say that to make you feel bad. Only I said that because we need to review. When you see, I'm taking classes, taking my master's in mathematics. And yesterday I have my one before the last class for geometry and measurement. And we're doing proofs right now in geometry. It's a lot of work. But I have from 10 questions that I answered, 3 went wrong. I still have a good grade, but I still, after class, and I said, could you please tell me what I did wrong? And the professor showed me, and I said to him, if I do this again, you can, yeah, of course. I will sit here for another half hour or 45 minutes. I have to correct all, and I sit down and I redo my equations, and he gave me a full grade. But no, it's not only the grade. I learned. I know what I did wrong because these 3 questions were wrong. So that is the same thing for you guys. You need to be proud of your learning. Proud of your learning, sorry. That means if you have problem with that, you have 2 choices. One choice is, Mr. Camacho, do you think I can have tutoring about that? Second, you think that you can do it by yourself? You Google or do something about it. Because if not, in 3 years or a year, when you go to another class, you have that, you will hit the wall again. So you're hurting yourself. We talk about negative exponents. When you have a negative exponent, because we cannot have negative exponent, no, you need to, the only way you have to hear that x is equal to -2. We don't want to have negative exponents. So what we do to make the exponent positive, we put 1/8 to the 2. And 8 to the 2, you multiply 8 twice is 64. Because every time that you see a number under 1, that is your hint. It's a negative exponent. In this case, because we're looking what is the value of x. And then you can figure, you can, second chance, you can use your memory or use your calculator, what 64 and 8 have, and what is the relationship between 8 and 64. And you can see that that means 8 squared. So you know that the number is negative. Because I'm working in my stuff, so I'm taking two big classes every semester. The other one is data analysis and probability. And there's things I cannot recall. I graduated from college in 2013. Talking about 13 years ago. And when I cannot recall, but it's my class today, I go home and I spend probably 2 hours in this point. Why? Because I need to remember to do my homework and get a good grade. So in the end, it's up to you guys. How far you want to go in life. So any questions about that? Can I raise? Okay. Okay. Question, the second kind of question that you will see in your homework, question number 2, is the log base 7, of 11x is equal 3. Because right now, there is no, apparently there is nothing to find out. Because it's like we have all the data, but we have an x there. So when you have an x there, you need to find the way to find the value of this x. So again, my next step is go to exponential. We are in logarithmic form. Let's go to exponential. That can help us. So remember, it's the base times whatsoever is in the other side of the equal sign. So you have a 7 to the third power, and we equal the power or the exponent, 11x. What will be my next step? What will be your next step following Pendas?
Solve it 7 cubed, and that's 343.
Exactly. Because we don't have parentheses, but we have exponents, and that is the first thing I have to solve. How much is again?
343.
So you know the 343 is equal to 11x. The rest is algebra. We don't have no more logarithms or exponentials. How you solve for x? You need to divide both sides by 11. And what will be the answer?
31.
31.18 is equal to x. And let me see if there's any indication about the answer. They don't tell you nothing about rounding or nothing else. So because they don't asking to rounding, simply that is the answer. 31.18. Or if you want to round it, what will be the rounding? If you go to 31, you go who is next to the right? Or even if you want to round to a decimal. No, sorry. If you want to round to a decimal, no, you can put the x is equal to 31.2. Because you have 18, 8 rounding 1 to a next number. And that will be the most proximal.
So both answered. You don't always have to round it. It's just if you want to.
Because they don't say nothing, I do it. But
if they ask you to round it,
you have to do it.
okay.
And you need to be sure to the 10th, to the 100th, what position they asking to round. In this case, there is not. I do it only to, if you give me 31.18, you have the point. No, and even if they asking to round it and you give me this, the other one, I will give you at least 0.75 for the point. Because you almost were there. but you need to learn to pay attention to details. Pay attention to details is very important for math, but also you can see that is one of the things that recruiters and businesses is asking for the people that apply to them. You know, the girls are very good to pay attention to detail. Let me see. It's in one of these places, attention to detail. But where it's very important, you know, have attention to detail. Normally, a couple go to, after the mom birth a baby, the couple go to see the baby through the window, and the man and the father said, "Oh, have two arms, two legs, two eyes. It's okay." No, but the mom says, "Look, have your eyes, or have my nose," and that is attention to detail. Girls are very good in that. And men have to learn to do that because if no, we can mess a lot of stuff. Any questions about this problem? No? Okay, let's see number 3. The third kind of question that you have in your assignment today is something like that. You have a log 3, base 3, and you have the exponent is 5x minus 1, and all are equal to 4. So again, that is in logarithmic form. You need to change it to exponential. Just Terry, tell me how I can change this to exponential.
You take the base 3
Yeah,
and make the power 4. Put it to power 4.
and equal
Equals 5x minus 1.
exactly. And then you solve the exponent first. 3 to the 4 is what?
81.
So you have 81. And that was the answer. No, that's to the 4.
Yeah.
81 is equal to 5x minus 1. What we do next, JC?
You add +1 to both sides.
Exactly. You plus 1 plus 1. So you have that 82 is equal to 5x. And Terry, was the last step?
Divide 82 by 5.
Only 82?
Or 5 divided by 5 and 82.
Yeah, remember we
Both
do one side, we do the other.
And you get 16.4.
16.4 is equal to x. And let me see. Simplify your answer. No, they're asking to round also. Because I will keep my 16.4. They don't ask me. See, sometimes when we try to overwork, we mess up. So any questions about the third? So let's go to our 4th example of what you will see in your assignment. Example number 4. Now there's a different scenario. Log 6 of x plus 3 is equal to log 6 of a. Do you have the piece of paper that I provide to you?
Mhm.
And you can have the piece of paper in the exam. I don't plan to ask you to memorize all the logarithmic rules, but if you go to the one that's called the equality rule, the equality rule. Do you see it?
Mhm.
What the equality rule says, no, give me a second. In what question we are?
Number 4.
Number 4. Go to the number 4. We're gonna have another name also. I want to give you both names. It's called the one-to-one property of the equality rule. You can put one-to-one property or equality rule. No? And what they said, if the bases are the same, because you can say that the log E no, log 6 and log 6 are the same. They are equal, in other words. Also, the exponents are equal in what the rule says. So it's because that, no, if the bases are equal, then the exponents are equal too. And then I can say, if that is true, I can say that x plus 3 is equal to 8. And then we have a straightforward.
You don't do anything with the 6?
Because the bases are the same. It's something that, remember when you have, it's not exactly example, but I try to call something before that we did. You have a x to the 5 times a x to the 9. No, we say that that is equal to say that x 5 plus 9, and that will be x to 14. Remember that exponential? So that because the bases are the same, no, I can do that. If you have an x and a y, you cannot do that. But because the bases, because that is base 6 and base 6, you can do that.
Okay.
So every time that you have two logs that are equal, you see, there is no a plus, there is no a minus, there is no a multiplication or division. You have equal. These logs equal this log because the two logs are equal and the bases, you can assume then the exponents are equal too.
Okay.
And then you can set it up as an equation. So what we have to do there, Jason?
Subtract 3.
We subtract 3, and that is the final answer. X is equal to 5. Let me know when I can keep going to the next. So it's the next equation that you will see in your homework is the one that's almost the same thing. No, I'm asked to, you help me to do it. It's log of 6 of x plus 2 and the log 6 of 6. This theory will be your first move.
X plus 2 equals 6.
Exactly. And then the rest is algebra. No, we subtract 2 from both sides. And you know that the value of x is 4. And right now, we don't have to do it, but we need to learn that one way to know if my answer is right or wrong is looking for the domain. No? And the domain will be x plus 2 is greater than 2, x is greater than 0, and if you put this to 0, will be x is greater than negative 2. See, the answer has to be greater than negative 2, and 4 is greater than negative 2. This is a way to check, my answer when you check the domain. To check the domain, you put this exponent you make an inequality, and then you subtract 2 from both sides, will be x is greater than negative 2. So your answer has to be greater than negative 2. Right now, we have one answer. Excuse me, it's no big deal. But we'll have equation that will have two answers. And we'll have to cancel one of them. And that is the way to do it. If the answer is no in the domain, you cancel the answer. I can erase that.
Yes.
Let's go to our fifth example that you will see in your assignment. Now we have a log, and that is a different one. There is no equal in between. No, you have a log of x plus a log of x plus 2, and that, no, sorry, x plus 21, and is equal to 2. Why, what of the rules of logarithms recall you when you see this equation? To what of the rules that looks like? You have your page there, you can check what do the rules look like. Exactly. It's the product rule expanded. Remember, when you have the product rule, you can expand the logarithm or you can reverse the power rule. The product rule. Then what happens if we reverse the product rule back to one log? So you put your log. Another thing, they don't give you a log. They don't give you a base. When they don't give you a base, you can assume that the base is, what is the default base?
One. Or was it? It was X or 0.
No. What is the default base? Like when you have a variable and they won't give you a coefficient or a power, you know that is 1. But in logarithms, when they don't give you a base, what is the default base? And you need to remember that. You need to make a note in your bedroom, in your refrigerator, in your bathroom. No, the default base is 10. So because we don't have a base, I will use base 10. Then you have a log 10, no, and then what we do, we multiply these two because they were multiplying and then you expand it. That was equal to x and x plus 21, and that was equal to 2. Does everybody agree with that? We reverse the product rule. Now that we reverse it, what else that you can do with this equation?
You can multiply x and x and y.
But before you can do that right now
You
because
take the base of 10 and put it to 2.
we go to exponential.
Exponential.
Yeah. Now you have equation because 10 to the second power is equal the exponent. That will be x times x plus 21. Now we have equation. And do we follow in pandas? 10 to the second power is
100.
100. You have the 100 is equal to x plus 21. Now you can follow that, or you can distribute the x in the parentheses. So you have the 100 is equal x times x is x squared, and x plus 21 is plus 21x. So now you have I'm missing something. No, pretty sure I missed nothing. Okay. This is now what we do. What is your options? What will be your easy way to solve this problem?
I want to say the. No, not
What's it?
subtracting or the square root.
Well, you can take the square root of everything, but that will make things very complicated, especially when you go to 21.
True.
So what will be an easy way? Don't look what you see, look around for what you see. What you can do with 100?
Not divide, not subtract it.
Well, why not subtract it?
You could subtract it.
And what happened when you subtract it? You ended in what?
That
But
would be easy.
But then what you have in the left side, when you put 100 in the other side, will be a what? How you call this polynomial? And what is the leading coefficient?
One.
So that's a shortcut. So that would be for me the easy way. Because I subtract 100 here and 100 here. And now I have a 0. I can put a 0 on the other side. X squared plus 21x minus 100 is equal to 0. And my leading coefficient is 1. So to solve for this quadratic trinomial with leading coefficient 1, what we do? First step.
If you like x plus blank and then the percentage thing.
Yeah, you can do that. The square root of x squared is
X.
so you can put your 2 parentheses and you put your x and your x. Now what will be next step?
Plus or minus in both the signs.
Well, I would do that when I have my numbers.
Find whatever 100 multiplied is 21 positive.
But you multiply 100 by what?
You like break it down. So like
Before breaking down, you multiply 100, negative 100 by what? Next step, you multiply the constant that is negative 100 by the leading coefficient. And I apply to equations that are coefficient 1 or not. So you have a negative 100 times 1, you have a negative 100. So you need to find out two numbers that when you multiply them will give you negative 100. But when you add or subtract them will give you 21. What numbers can be?
25 and 4.
Exactly. Very good. I'll put the number here, 25 and 4. Which one have to be positive and which have to be negative to get a positive 21?
To positive 25, negative 4.
Exactly. Because remember, the answer will carry always the sign of the biggest number. And that is the answer. So we have two answers for this question. Answer number 1 is x plus 25. I'm going to set to 0 because that was set to 0. You see that?
Mhm.
So we need to set to 0 also that. And you subtract 25 for both sides as x is equal to negative 25. And my second answer is that x minus 4 is equal to 0. If I add 4 to both sides, it will be x is equal to 4. I have to answer how I can decide if both are right or one is right. Well, we go to the main. You have a x plus 1, plus 21 is greater than 0. Because remember, you cannot have anything in the exponential that is less than 0. It could be 0 or could be greater than 0. So what we do is that is now an inequality. I subtract 21 for both sides, and I have that x is greater than negative 21. So is negative 21 in the number line is greater or less than negative 25?
It's,
21's greater.
yeah, greater.
So is then 25 disqualified because it's out of the domain. The domain is any number.
Oh, okay.
Or you can put here, negative 21, comma, infinity. That is your domain. Only these numbers can be plugged in this equation. And because 25 is out of the domain, you cancel negative 25. And 4 is in the domain.
So would you have two answers at the end or just negative 21 to infinity?
Well, this is the same answer. That is interval notation, that is inequality notation.
Right.
But when we did inequality, we answered 4 ways. We have the inequality, the interval, we have the graph, and we have also the builder
Set
set.
builder notation.
There's this, the first one, x is greater than negative 21 is inequality notation. The second one, negative 21 comma infinity is in interval notation. It's the same answer. So any questions about this question? That was the question number 5. I never put a number in your assignment. So any question before we go to 6? No? Can you raise? Okay. And the question number 6 is similar. You have the log x plus the log. No, we did 6, sorry. The one that we did before was number 6. We go to 7 now. So you have the log x, and then you have plus the log of x minus 3, and it's equal to 1. So what we do here? What will be your first step?
X.
Before x, what will be your first step? What is missing there?
The base. So you go, you said it'd be base 10.
Because if you don't have the base, you cannot change to exponential. So that will be the log 10 of x plus the log 10 of x minus 3 equal 1. Now you can go to exponential. No, first of all, let's reverse what rule we're reversing. What logarithmic rule we're reversing?
Was that the product rule?
Yeah, we're reversing the product rule because that is the expansion of the product rule. Now we can bring it back to one log one. So you have the log 10, no, and then you have the exponent will be x times x minus 3, and all equals 1. So what we can do now? What will be your next step?
It'll be 10 to 1.
We go to exponential form. The base times what is on the other side of the equal sign is equal the exponent, x, and as a x minus 3. Then what will your next step, Terry?
You do 10 to the 1 power, that's just 10, so bring the 10 down. And then x times x is x squared, and x times negative 3 is just negative 3x, or
Okay.
minus 3x.
And what we do next?
Add the 3. Yeah, add the 3x.
You'd subtract.
Subtract
Oh,
it from both
yeah.
sides.
Yeah.
So you have that x squared minus 3x minus 10 is equal to 0. So my question is, what we do next? You have again, sorry, that is not to the third power, the second power. You have a quadratic trinomial with leading coefficient 1. What we do next?
You can multiply negative 10 times 1, which will be negative 10.
Negative 10 is your number. You put your two parentheses. You know that the square root of x squared is
X.
you put your x there, and now you ask yourself what two numbers I can multiply to give me negative 10, but if I add or subtract the same number, will give you a negative 3.
5 and 2.
Excellent. 5 and 2, which one have to be negative to have a negative 3?
And negative 2, positive 5. Or negative 5, positive 2.
Uh-huh. And then, because all this stuff is to 0, we need to set this to, you have a negative 5x minus 5 is equal to 0, is x is equal 5. And here you have a x plus 2 equals 0. X is equal to negative 2. So let's go to the domain. You know, the domain will be that x minus 3 is greater than 0. And then x is minus 3 with x is greater than 3. So what one is cancelled?
-2.
Exactly, because it's out of the domain. Because all the values that you can plug for x have to be greater than 3. And negative 2 is not. So this number and cancel. The answer is 5. So that is the way that the domain help you to who I eliminate. Let me know when I can go to question number 8. Can I erase that?
Yes.
There's only 14 questions, so we are close. Number 8. And number 8, you have the log 3 of x plus 10. And then you have plus the log 3 of x plus 2, x plus 2, and both logs equal to 2. It will be my first step.
We just did that.
Yeah, it's something about that being the same at the bottom.
Yeah, the
isn't it?
bases are the same.
So what we do?
You just, it would be x plus 10 equals x plus 2. No,
That was when they were equal, both.
so.
Do you see the equal?
Multiply them.
Before do anything, or what have to do? What this logarithmic equation looks like in your rules?
The equality rule.
Equality rule, do you see a equal between both logs?
No.
So it would be back at the product rule.
Uh-huh. So we need to reverse the product rule. So we have log 3, and now we can put the two equations, x plus 10, and multiplying x plus 2, and both are equal to. Because now we have a logarithmic equation. We went back to one log. What will be the next step? What you do with this logarithmic equation?
It'd be 3/2.
3 over 2
Or 3 to the second power
is equal.
to x plus 10 times x plus 2.
And then I have to open the first 3 to the second power is
9.
9. And it's equal, you need to FOIL this, x times x is x squared, x plus 2 is plus 2x, x plus 10 is plus 10x, and 10 times 2 is plus 20. So I can work my middle terms that are like 9 is equal to x squared plus 12x, that looks like a plus 12x plus 20. What we do now?
Subtract the 9.
Both sides, 9. As I have now that x squared plus 12x, and you have a positive 20 and negative 9 will be, what will be the sign?
Positive.
Plus 11 is equal to 0. And again, I have another quadratic equation with leading coefficient 1. So what will be your first step, next step?
That 11 times 1 is 11, and then the parentheses.
Because you have 11 positive. So what to, and you put your parentheses, the square root of x squared is x. What two numbers you multiply, that will be 11, but when you add to subtract the same number will be 12.
11 and 1.
11, exactly.
But I do have just one question. I'm good until we get to the part where it's the leading coefficient 1x squared plus 12x plus 11. And I know the next step is you multiply the 11 and 1 because 1's a leading coefficient, but will it always just be, why is it 11? Why are we multiplying 11?
Because you multiply always the next step, you multiply whatsoever is the constant by the leading coefficient.
Okay, so it's just a constant. Okay, because I didn't really know how to put it in words, but I was kind of confused. Why is it that number?
Well, the number before was 19. I don't know what number was before. The constant.
10.
10. There's the number varied. The previous number was 100. So it doesn't matter what number is, you multiply this number by the leading coefficient, and it will be a negative or positive number, depending the signs. And then you have to find the two numbers that when you multiply them is 11, but when you add and subtract them, will give you the middle term, the midterm. That will be, in this case, is 12, and the other case it was different.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Because I was just wondering, why was it 11? Why we just multiply the two x's? But now I get it. Thank you. I didn't know.
Okay.
That,
Well, and you know, that is the way that you learn, asking questions.
Yeah, because I'm fine until we get to this part, and then it kind of just throws me off. Like, why did we just pick that number out of random, or I didn't know why we got that number?
Because if we don't ask him questions, you have a hole in your learning. You're learning hole. I don't understand that. Learning hole. Then when you go to the test, this hole will show up.
I had that up until now, but I think we're fine.
Praise God. There's and because it's a positive, both are positive. There's 11, positive 11 times positive 1 is 11, but positive 11 plus positive 1 is 12. So we have our two numbers I need to set, and that has to be set to 0, 2. Then I have to find the value of x. So you have a x plus 11 equals 0. You subtract 11 from both sides, as x is equal to negative 11. And the other one is x plus 1 is equal to 0. You subtract 1 from both sides, as x is equal to negative 1. And let's find the domain. And when you find the domain, you need to pick the one that is close to 0. Why? Because we know that the value and the exponential part have to be greater than 0. So you have, first of all, x plus 10. Come on. X plus 10. No, it's greater than 0. You subtract 10 from both sides. X is greater than negative 10. No? And then the other one is x plus 2 is equal to 0. It's not equal, sorry, it's greater than 0. If you subtract 2 from both sides, x is greater than negative 2. So it makes sense, no? You have a domain. and you need to restrict the domain. You cannot restrict the domain. You can say the domain is any number that from any x number or any real number that is greater than -2. And at the same time, you cannot have a domain that is greater than -10. And you have to pick one of them who is close to 0, will be x minus 2. So I can pick one and then check your answer, no? Your answer is the value of x is you have -11 or you have -1. Which one is in the range in the domain?
-1.
So that you can cancel this one, and that is your answer. X is equal to -1.
Okay, because I was just about to ask another question. When you got to the domain and you told us we cancel it out, I didn't really understand it, but it's just whichever you cancel out the option that's farthest away from 0.
Yeah,
you want
because
to be as
it will be
close.
confusing, no?
Mhm.
Yeah. no, that's
It's
not-
like, imagine she is her daughter, no? What's the name of your daughter?
Memphis.
Memphis want to have a birthday party, no? And you, as a mom, you need to, what's her age? May I know? 9. So you want to be sure that nobody will show up overnight because it's a 9-year-old party. No? You don't want teenagers there. So you make an invitation, no? And you don't put an invitation, no? Or you tell to your daughter, we need to select your friends that are greater than 1, but less than or equal, less or equal to 9. And you can give it to her, and also another one that will be less or greater than 1 and greater than equal to 12, because mom is confused. What is the age limit? 9 or 12? So you have to cancel one of them, and that is saying that don't make sense. You have to this way. No, so that is the reason we pick this. We pick this domain, and using this domain will restrict what answer we cancel. We want to the next. Let me erase that one question number. I can erase.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to be sure
Some of
because your notes are gold. That is what you use to study for the test. Okay, let's go to question number 9 now. Carefully pass this stuff. We don't damage 9. We did 8 already. Okay, question number 9. In question number 9, we have another example. You have the log 8 of x plus 3. You have plus the log 8 x plus 2. And that is equal to 1. I will give you 2 minutes to find out how to do that. At least you can go to the equation. So you need to, what will be your first step, Terry?
You would take the base 8 and set it to 1.
Which one?
Or wait,
What will be your first step?
you would
JC?
do log 8 x plus 3 and times x plus 2.
So you need to reverse the product rule, because you need to have one log to go to exponential. Log 8, of x plus 3 times x plus 2, so it doesn't look like a 2, equal to 1. JC will be the next step.
It would be 8 to the first power.
So here, 8 to the first power is equal.
X plus 3 times x plus 2.
Very well, the next step.
You FOIL it, so x times x is
No,
x
before
squared.
that.
Oh,
Pentas.
8 to the first power is just 8, so you bring the 8 down. And then x times x is x squared, 3 times 2, or x plus 2, or sorry, x times 2 is plus 2x plus 3x.
And what are you missing? You have to have 4 terms there.
Two times 3 is plus 6, or yeah, plus 6.
Because now we're doing JC.
You will subtract 8 by both sides.
Before do that.
Oh, you're gonna combine like terms, so
Very
3
good.
and 2 is fine.
8 is equal to is equal to x squared plus what? 5x plus 6. Because now we subtract, as you said, 8 from both sides. And you have that x squared plus 5x. And you have a positive 6 and a negative 8 will be
Negative 2.
negative 2 equals 0. So what we do next?
You're gonna
That is coefficient 1.
times
Negative 2 times the leading coefficient of 1.
It will be a negative 2. Because you need to find two numbers that when you multiply them will give you a negative 2, but when you add or subtract will be a positive 5. Which number will be
3 and 2.
3 and 2?
Oh,
Okay.
wait.
You have to multiply
Oh,
negative 2
multiply.
and add and subtract positive 5.
It should not be hard.
I feel like it is, because there's only one number that can be it, would be negative 2 times 1.
There is no number. Because that we need to use quadratic equation. The formula is negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c and all over 2 times a. That's the quadratic equation. And I will label these numbers. No, 1 is your a, positive 5. Remember, when you pick the number, you pick the sign also. Will be b, and negative 2 is your c. I always label my numbers to be sure I get the right thing. So now we plug the numbers. Negative b will be a negative 5 plus minus the square root of 5 squared minus 4 times 1 and times negative 2, that's c, all over 2 times 1. Now we simplify, you have a negative 5 again, plus minus the square root 25, 5 to the second power is 25, and then you have a negative 4 times 1 will be
Negative 4.
times 2, times negative 2,
Positive 8.
plus 8. And all this stuff over 2. Now we try to go here. So if we simplify that, would be a negative 5 plus minus the square root of 33 over 2. And that is as far as we can go. So we have two answers, and you have to use your calculator. You need to plug your calculator. Let me change colors. I'll put in blue the two answers. Answer number 1 that we have will be negative 5 plus the square root of 33 over 2. And second answer, because you have a plus and a minus, will be negative 5 minus minus the square root of 33 over 2. So what is the answer of the first one? Negative 5 times the square root of 33 divided by 2. If you put your calculator, you should put in parentheses the whole thing in the top. Negative 5 plus the square root of 33 close parentheses divided by 2.
$542.
No,
No?
no. Let me go to my. Wait, what answer you have, JC?
It's 5/2.
Okay. Let me go to my. Let me use. Let's go to our Desmos calculator. I'm dealing with a Procter and Company analog. They can incorporate a Desmo in their software. So there's nobody who have to need to have a calculator. You use the calculator in the software. Let me go here and let's put Desmos. Scientific calculator. So what you have to do is we need to apply. We have a fraction. You see, no. The first thing you have to do put in a fraction. There is a point that you can use to put a fraction, and then you put in the top. I will put in parentheses to tell to my machine what I want them to do first. Negative 5 plus, no, and then I'll put the square root of 33. And then in the bottom, I'll put 2. And that is the answer. So I am telling to my calculator, please first do this equation, and then whatsoever the answer is divided by 2. Remember, the calculator will do what you ask them to do. You have the same answer?
No, mine's still in fraction form.
Okay, you have to figure out because you need that for the yeah, that is the end. Okay. Let me erase this that clear. This where is your fraction here?
That button.
Okay. This in the top, I will put parentheses, and I will put negative 5. Okay. Oh, I know the problem. Again, which of this one? Parentheses, that is the negative.
No, was I put minus?
Yeah.
I consider that.
Negative 5, no, plus the square root, no. try to do it, but use the minus in the bottom. Plus the square root of 33. Close parentheses. And then you put divided by 2. No?
It's
Yeah.
the fraction.
Yeah, we need, there is a problem.
Yeah.
There's a problem. Because you will need to know, at least you take the square root of -3 first of all. The square root of 33. What you have?
Mine says square root of 33.
They don't say nothing else?
No.
Something is wrong with your calculator. Something is wrong in the settings because it's not doing any equation.
What is it set as?
Sine.
If you cannot at least do it by chunks, take the square root of 33.
No, but I even changed mine to the wrap that's on there too, and it still didn't need the
Yeah.
same.
Take the square root of 33 first. Only the square root of 33. What's the answer?
Square root of 33.
Still, isn't radians?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to say a degree. That's the problem.
Well, I went to the first time and
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Try again the square root of 33.
On both of them.
They said 33.
Mhm.
Something is wrong in your settings. I don't know what, but you have to Google later how to put this equation and they name the calculator name and they will give you step by step how to do
Okay.
it. But the answer is 0.37 for the first one when it's -5 plus. No, and let's do the second one. The second one will be parentheses, and it's a -5 minus. No, I start wrong. I will, yeah. No, this one. New one, okay. So you have a negative, sorry, parentheses, -5 minus the square root of 33, close parentheses, divided by 2. And that is the second answer, -5.37. You have your two answers there? You can do it in your Apple calculator.
Oh wait, I did that wrong. I did that
Okay,
wrong.
try again. Try again. What about now?
Oh, I got -7.87.
Yeah. So do you guys
I don't know why that was. Minus
do it by chance? Ask to your calculator what is the square root of 33. First,
5.74.
subtract -5. And then divide by 2.
Subtracted by -5.
Yeah. And then divided by 2 in the end.
5.37.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I got.
You did one, no?
Yes.
You put the negative, you subtract
Oh.
-5 minus.
Well, I did the first one.
Yeah. Will be when you have the answer for the square root, will be the negative answer. and the
Oh, negative 5.37.
So, when you have this equation tomorrow, use your phone calculator. I trust in you guys. So you have your two answers. Let's go back to our whiteboard. So what is the first answer?
0.37.
0.37. The second answer?
Negative 5.37.
Negative 5.37. So what we have to do now, we have to do the same thing that we did or put it into green, okay? To do the domain. I will do the domain here in green, okay? In this box. The domain. Put D for domain. You have a x plus 3 has to be greater than 0. X is greater than negative 3. And then you have a x plus 2 is greater than 0. You have the x is greater than negative 2. Which one is close?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. So I will cancel the first domain. So my question is, which of these two answers is in the domain?
Of 0.37 and negative 5.37.
Both are in the domain? Because the domain is x is greater than negative 2. So which of the two answers that we found will be in the domain?
0.37.
So is this one, we can cancel this one, and the answer is 0.37. Any question? And I use different colors to differentiate different equations that we did.
And we only do all of that if once you get at the end and you set everything to 0 and there's no number that can add or subtract or multiply to that number. That's when you do.
Yeah, when there's no other option.
That's when you use the quadratic formula.
Exactly.
Okay.
Only that.
Okay.
If not, solve it in this
Just
way.
like we were doing.
Yeah, because it's easy. You can solve any one we did before using the quadratic formula, but why I go there?
Yeah, it's just easier to do the other
Exactly. Exactly. So can I erase that?
Yes.
So that was question number 9 that we did. Forgot to put that was question number 9 in your homework. I can erase everything. Okay. Let's go to question number 10. We're almost there. There's 14 questions on this. Number 10. Let me change the color to black again.
If we don't finish this, will we resume from number 11 on Thursday? Because I have a class at 11.
We can let's do it's okay, we can do 10.
Yeah.
And then I will do is I will finish to record this for more questions after you go. And then you can go to the video. Because we did together to 10 with only 4 questions. And if you want to stay to the 14, you can stay to 14, and then you have to go to. Okay, there's the next question, question number 10. Now we are going to an exponential equation. X minus 4 is equal to 81. And what we do to be able to solve this equation, that was we did when we did exponential equation. When you have two numbers that there is a relationship, but there is no because the bases are different. I will try to put both numbers in the same base. No, what base will be common to 81 and to 9? What number is
10.
what will be the least common multiple? The least of 9 and 81.
9.
Least 3. Remember,
Oh, yeah.
how you know that? Remember we did when we were doing that long time ago. You put your 9 and your 81. And no, that don't work. Okay. Entonces, es 3 because that is the least, no? Entonces, to what number I need to multiply or raise 3 to be 9?
2.
So that is equal to, say, 3 to the second power x minus 4, no, is equal to 3 to what power? 3 to the 2 is 9, 3 to the 3 is what? 9 plus 9 plus 9. Sorry, 9 times 9 times 9.
9 times 9 times 9.
7.
Well, no, sorry,
Yeah.
3 times 3 times 3 is
27.
3 to the 4 power will be what?
81.
Because that is equal to 3 to the 4. As you can see now, what we have done is you have the same base
Oh, yeah.
because now we're in exponential. We are no longer in logarithmic. You have 3 to the 2 and 3 to the 4, same base. So we can change that, no, because we have the same base. And remember, it's again what we did before. You have a x to the 5 times a x to the 6, because it's the same base. You have x 5 plus 6. That will be equal to x to 11. So following the concept that you have the same base, if the base are equal, then the exponents are equal. No, so you can say no that you have 2 times x minus 4 is equal to 4. No, sorry, is equal to 3 is equal to 4, yeah, because the bases are the same. And then
Is the 2 times x minus 4, that's just the exponent of 4. Okay.
Well, that is the exponent of the exponent,
Okay.
because the exponent was x minus 4, but when I put this in base 3, it's
That's
3 to the 2, and 2 is raised to the.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see.
Because now I can distribute here, you have a 2x minus 8 is equal to 4. What will be your next step?
Add 8.
Add 8 to both sides. So you have a 2x, so plus 8 plus 8 and plus 8. So you have now that 2x is equal to 12. And then you divide both sides by 2. X is equal to 6. That's it. That is the whole equation. We're dealing now with the exponential equation. No more. Well, the last one is logarithmic too, but it's exponential. I will keep going and you do what you have to do. Let's go to question number 11 in your assignment. And question number 11 is 5x is equal to 9. So it's because that there's no way that I can convert 5 in a base 3 because that will be 9. I will have to apply the log to both sides of the equation, because I have log of 5 to the x, so that looks like a x, 5x is equal to log to the 9. And then my next step will be will use the power rule. I will move the x to the front.
Are you recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I have that I will move this x to the front using the power rule and exponents. I have a x times the log of 5 is equal to the log of 9. Because now I need to solve for x. To solve for x, I will divide both sides by the log of 5. I will divide this by the log of 5, and I will divide the other side by the log of 5. And when I do that, these two guys cancel. And now I have that x is equal to the log of 9 divided by the log of 5. And the log of 9, and if you divide both logs, the answer will be 1.365. That will be the answer for the question number 11, or also you can apply the natural law. So it's this answer, or you can say that x is equal to the natural law of 9 divided by the natural law of 5. Both answers are right. So that's the number 11 in your assignment today, logarithmic and exponential equations. Let's go to number 12. Well, I'll let you a minute that you can copy and make your notes. And then we're going to the following one. Let's erase and let's go to the next question number 12 in your assignment. Question number 12 in your assignment looks like this. You have 7, no, you have, let me see the original question. Go to my paper. You have 7, no, times to 9 to 3x, no, and this is equal to 3. So what we have to do is, I will try to divide both sides by 7, because I have a number multiplied to a base. Then we make more complicated if I try to apply any rule for exponents. So I will divide this by 7 and this by 7. And now we have that 9 to the 3x is equal to 3 over 7. Then I will apply a log for both sides. There will be a log of 9 to the 3x is equal to the log of 3 over 7. Then I will use the power rule to move this 3x to the front of the equation. So you have 3x, in parentheses, times the log of 9, no, is equal to the log of 3 over 7. Okay, sorry, that don't look like a 7. And then I will divide both sides by the log of 9 to isolate. I will divide everything by 3 times the log of 9 to isolate my x. So you have here 3 times the log of 9. And this number and these guys cancel, these two. So my next answer would be that x is equal to the log of 3 over 7, 7, all over 3 times the log, in parentheses 3, of 9. We divide the board. You put this in your calculator, no? You put your calculator log of 3 over 7 divided by 3 times the log of 9. The answer will be 0 point. No, so it will be negative 0.129. Or also you can answer as the x is equal to the natural log of 3 over 7 over the natural log of 3 times the log of 9. Both are valuable answers. But you need to see which one your assignment one. Read the question before I put your final answer to see in which way they will you to put your answer. I will give you a minute, you copy that, and let's go to question number 14. Or question 13, sorry. Question 13. Let me erase all this stuff. Let's go to question number 13. Question 13. Question 13, you have 7x equals 57. The way I solve that, I will go the same steps I go before. I can apply the natural log or the natural log. Let's do the natural log this time. No, the ln of 7x is equal to the is lower n of 57. No, then the next step, I will use the power rule to move my x to the front. So I have a x times the natural log of 7 that is equal to the natural log of 57. And then I will divide both sides by the natural log of 7. And these guys cancel, and I have that x is equal to the natural log. Sorry for, I keep, well, it's a minus, it's the minus lowercase l. I'm trying to correct myself. Log, natural log of 57 divided by the natural log of 7. And the natural log of 57 is 4.04305. And the natural log of 7 is 1.9, no, 4591. No, and you divide both together, and they're asking this question very specific that you need to round to 2 decimal places. So as I round also already my answer to decimal places, and this x is equal to 2.08. And that is rounded to 2 decimal places. So that will be question number 13. So you can see we have used different techniques and different rules for exponents and rules for logarithmic equations. I'll give you a minute, you copy that, and we go to the last question in this assignment. Let me erase everything. Let's go to question 14. The last question of this assignment of today is logarithmic and exponential equations. So number 14, the last question is that 5x plus 2 is equal to 42. Again, we have two different bases. There's no way that I can write these two exponents bases in the same number. So because that, I will have to apply the log to both sides. Or you can apply the natural law. You can do any one of them. You don't change nothing. Let's do the natural law again. You have the ln, no, of 5, no, that is x plus 2 is equal to the natural log of 42. Then I will use the power rule to move the x plus 2 to the front of the equation. And you have that x plus 2, no, is equal, x plus 2, in parentheses, times the natural law of 5 is equal to the natural law of 42. The next thing I will do is I will divide both sides by the natural law of 5. Here's the natural law of 5, and here the natural law of 5. And these guys cancel. So I have that x plus 2 is equal to the natural law of 42 over the natural law of 5. The next step is I will subtract 2 from both sides because I need to solve for x. I need to isolate this x. So because it's x plus 2, I will subtract 2 to both sides. And I have that x is equal to the natural law of 42 over the natural law of 5 minus 2. Move my page. I don't remember the decimal answer. And you put that, no, I will take first of all the natural laws. No, x is equal to the natural law of 42 is, and then the natural law of 5 minus 2. And I will take first of all the natural laws and then I'll subtract 2 from them. The natural law of 42 is 3.7377. And then the natural law of 5 is 1.6094. If I divide this, if I divide 3.7377 divided by 1.6094, is x will be equal to 2.322. That's a point, the 3.22 minus the 2, no? And when I do that, no, it's 0.322. And that will be the final answer. Well, that was your assignment for today. No, logarithmic and exponential equations. I hope you enjoyed as I enjoyed with the class. And as we said before, that is your last class, the last subject that will be included in the test. So it's Tuesday, you need to log in Tuesday and be sure that you will be in class because we start reviewing for the test. We review Tuesday and we review Thursday and the next Tuesday. And then after that, we'll have practice tests. I want to be sure that you can polish your skills in logarithmic and exponential equations and everything that we learned before. Because as you can see, we are applying factorization and polynomials and everything. And then the week of the 11th to the 14th of May is when you will be having your final exam. Well, I enjoyed this class. I hope you enjoy like me. Have a wonderful rest of this day. No, and I will see you in the next class. Bye.